Hello and welcome to GuyLogic. My name is Temko and this is Clustertruck, a game about jumping from truck to truck in an obstacle course of the craziest of proportions. It is developed by Landfall Games and published by TinyBuild. And let's go ahead and dive straight on into this amazing game about speed running from truck to truck. As always, before we head into the gameplay proper, let's go ahead and look at some options and settings and talk a little bit about PC performance. There are some options outside of the game in the Unity-like launcher, I assume this is Unity, that allow you to change resolution and graphics presets. And there are some other options available under videos such as SSAO, Bloom, TAA, VSync. There's a shadow distance and FOV slider that goes all the way up to 140, which is a very cool thing. I do really like that. I have about 110 because I do enjoy that kind of width. Anything more than that gets a little bit fisheye for me. And then we have shadow distance, which you can crank all the way up if you are so inclined. Though I would suggest not doing that because it will destroy your frame rate. On that end, we obviously have VSync and Bloom disabled. Other than that, you have some audio options for master and music volume. You don't really need any other volume sliders in this title. This is pretty much complete. The game doesn't have any dialogue options or voiceovers or anything of the sort, so this will get the job done to full effect. Other than that, we have some controls that are sadly non-rebindable. You do have full controls for keyboard and mouse as well as gamepad, though why you would do a speed running title on a gamepad is beyond me. But if you want to, you can. Other than that, we have some controls for the keyboard and mouse. Mostly WASD, space, shift, left mouse button, right mouse button. Pretty straightforward. It's a bit of a shame they're not rebindable, but the default controls aren't horrible, so it is pretty doable. And then we have some sensitivity and inverted controls if you are that kind of madman. Lastly, we have some Twitch config, which allows somebody that wants to stream the game on to set it up so that their viewers get a 3-choice option every couple of minutes where they can introduce hazards to the player, such as exploding trucks, such as thinner trucks, such as bouncing trucks and stuff like that, which does bring a bit of variety and randomness to the title, which is quite interesting and entertaining if you are into that sort of thing. From a pure speedrunning perspective though, that extra option set is kind of annoying. But the game has more than just jumping from truck to truck. A major part of the game is the editor, which allows you to create your own tracks and levels and share them on the Steam Workshop. And players, even before release, have already been doing that en masse, and that is pretty cool. The game's already branching out further than just trucks and jumping from truck to truck. It's gone into tower climbs, it's gone into obstacle courses with specific save zones, it's gone into a variety of game modes, and people try to figure out what is possible with the modding tools for this game. And they are doing a phenomenal job, and I do applaud that quite a bit. Obviously, it would not be a speedrunning title if they did not have extensive leaderboards. Each level in the game, and there's quite a few of them from the campaign levels, has a leaderboard ranking, where you can go from leaderboard to leaderboard to leaderboard, and well, every leaderboard has a bunch of data on it. Obviously, not all the leaderboards currently have data on them as it is before release, but the vast majority of them have people clearing them in times far above what I can do, and that is pretty damn cool. And you can raise these people if they're ghosts if you're so inclined. So if I want to raise the top player here, I can say raise ghost, and that will show me what that player just did, which is beyond me, but such is the case. Well, he already finished that level and I'm still dying here. So you can see what other people are doing and improve your own gameplay based on that. That is pretty damn cool. Other than that, you have some abilities you can unlock while playing the game. You get points by finishing levels and use these points to unlock a bunch of abilities. You can have one of these abilities active in the game, and this does bring a little bit of dynamic to the title. I'll explain more about that in a little bit. And once you have enough points, you can unlock all these abilities. So that is Clustertruck except for the gameplay. So let's get into that, shall we? So as it appears and is, the game is about jumping from truck to truck to get to the end of the level. And the game doesn't really hold your hand in how it wants you to complete a level. Every level is freeform. There is the end goal, there is the trucks, and there is a bunch of hazards dependent on the level that differ quite a bit. And how you reach the end goal is all up to you. If you want to use any of the special abilities you have unlocked, such as a dash or a double jump, which is what I'm using right now, or a freeze time that freezes all the trucks, that's up to you. If you feel this will make you reach the end of the level faster, all the more power to you. Obviously, the game scores its players on 2 parts, scores as well as speedruns. And if you want to do it on a speedrun, well, probably taking the long way around, which is what I'm doing, is not the best way. Probably better to just go straight on over the fence on the right side of this level and try to make it to the trucks flying over yonder. Whether or not you succeed in that, well, that's up to you and how well you know the game and how well you can time your jumps and what special abilities such as a jetpack or the like you have unlocked to get to the end of that and survive and get the high score, high speed, etc. The game is very fast and very smooth. There's not a lot of downtime between attempts. As soon as you die, you just press space and you go straight up from the start. If you feel you're too slow, you press escape, press space, and you're back from the start. The game is all about keeping you in the action from jumping truck to truck to truck to truck, and that is pretty damn good. The game only has one goal in mind and it executes that goal to near perfection. It's about getting you the high octane, high speed idea of racing from truck to truck, and it does a really good job at that. It doesn't try to do anything else though, so if you are not interested in what you're seeing, well, this is not the game for you. But if you are into speedrunning, if you are the sort of player that likes to optimize their runs, optimize their times, and try to get better at obstacle courses and solve these physics-based obstacle puzzles, then this might be a game for your enjoyment because it is pretty damn good. Now, there's also plenty of levels in the game. The level variety is not to be scoffed at. There is 9 campaign levels, with each having 10 maps, which means there's 90 campaign maps, and then there's a Steam Workshop with an endless variety of different types of maps, from regular maps for the game, up to very crazy maps that all go the way to like tower climbs and indoor jumps, with all the walls being hazards. There's quite a bit of variety here, and that is pretty damn cool. Even within a campaign level, the various stages for the game are very diverse in and of themselves. Even though you're maybe in the same biome, such as a forest or a desert or a ice world, each level tries something new. It advances the puzzles, it advances the mechanics you're encountering quite a bit. From one level to the next, you never have the feel you're replaying the same thing, just slightly longer or slightly harder or slightly more spaced. Every level has its own unique gimmick, its unique puzzle. So I do applaud the developers for getting a really interesting puzzles, really interesting obstacles, and really interesting options to solve them into the game quite efficiently. Really well done. But on that note as well, because the game is physics based and the trucks do move freeform within certain parameters, it has and can and will happen that once you try once it might succeed, might not succeed again and time again. Or you might die 20, 30, 40 times trying to achieve a specific jump until the various physics elements of the various trucks just come together in the right moment and angle for you to achieve that jump or track or race. Which means that if you're the sort of player that really enjoys a more pure form of speedrunning, that is more mechanically driven and more timing driven in rote and memorizing a certain run, then this might not be the kind of title you would enjoy. But if you're this kind of speedrunner that likes obstacles, that likes challenges, and likes thinking on your feet and maximizing your run based on variable parameters, then Clustertruck does a pretty phenomenal job of doing that. It has a large variety of levels, with each level having its own score attack. It has a large divergence in graphical gameplay as well as stage variety within various levels. And it has minor fluctuations and varieties within a level itself due to the physics engine. Overall, a really good combination in getting players to do a variety of things. But the game isn't perfect. There's a couple of things that kind of bug me about the game. One of them is the over-reliance on time trials and time attacks and nothing else. Even though the game scores your runs up to a score system and it gives you points for those score systems, style points they're called, which you can use to unlock abilities, it doesn't really account for that score in calculating the fastest or number one ranking. Somebody that has a 5-second rank on a level will always beat someone that has a 5.1 second rank on a level, even if that person has a much higher score. How the developer should aggregate this, or if they should separate this entirely, I don't really have an answer for them. I'm just currently a little bit sad that the score is completely ignored, even when it's given for doing some fancy stuff like jumping from hovering truck to hovering truck or from exploding truck to exploding truck, if that is a situation that occurs in your level. And when the level doesn't account for that in your end score, even though you had an amazing run, it's sort of a little bit sad. But as I said, the game has a phenomenal range of levels with a phenomenal set of physics-bending puzzles that are quite interesting and quite well put together. And if you are the sort of person that likes speedrunning, or that likes crazy levels that you have to challenge and accomplish with various difficulties a la Mario Maker, then this is a game that you might be interested in. because Clustertruck comes out on September the 27th on Steam for the grand total of $15 or your regional equivalent. So thank you for watching. If you like this video, press the like button below. If you didn't like this video, there's a dislike button for exactly that purpose, and leave a comment. Tell us what you liked, tell us what we can do better. We want to hear back from all of you. And if you want to see more content like this on the channel, just press that subscribe button down below and we will deliver. Until then, I wish you a good day, and until next time, right here on GuyLogic.